Simon Ekpa, why the CDS General Christopher Musa is wrong again. The Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, has in less than a year blamed the Finland twice and now the European Union for not doing anything about Simon Ekpa, whose broadcast and comment push insecurity in the Southeast. This video shows why and how wrong General Musa is. Is Southeast still a part of Nigeria? A question. The Constitution says so, like almost everything in the Constitution that is observed in gross breach insecurity in the Southeast is treated as the region's headache. Nigeria is a trap standing on two legs. Those familiar with a tripod know it stands on three legs. Pre-Civil War, Nigeria stood on three legs. The war damaged one of the legs. Nigeria paid a lot of attention at damaging that leg. In the past 8 years, particularly the Muhammadu Buhari administration, made it clear in words, deeds, and indeed, that he will not act without consigns for damaged leg. Ruga elements are on the increase in the Southeast. They span between those who are doing nothing to restore sanity in the area. They are mostly beneficiaries of the confusion. The federal government vested with exclusive constitutional and legal provisions and resources to manage insecurity is unconcerned. When a leg of a tripod is damaged and cook treats the damaged stand with extra care, knowing that without such care as he stirs, the pot and its contents are at a high risk of being unturned, and there are consequences. Mischief makers see the Syria unrest as a chance to do brown the Southeast that it is not an environment destination unfit of human sustainable living. The media optics highlight those options. A May 2023 report on Nigerian security by Abuja-based security outfit Beacon Intel said, of 675 people killed, 5.2% of 35 were in the Southeast, making it the safest region in the country. The report gets minimal mention in the media. What is unique about Southeast is the sit-at-home orders. Only on 7th July 2023, Mr. Victor Onyekpe, the Chief Operating Officer of KPMG Africa, raised the point about on the ease of doing business in the Southeast at a symposium in Aba to mark the 70th birthday of Dr. Dari Uzo, a known investor in infrastructure, estates, and lead private sector's promoter of the Enyimba Economic City in development. He geographically showed billions of naira were locked to the sit-at-home orders and how Southeast GPD was shrinking. The facts cannot be disputed. The media difficult to discipline in the digital era are in a race to list the commotion in the Southeast, right to how many markets were in disarray. In a day, a colleague who arrived from Lagos on Thursday was shocked to see people on the street of Aba. They were another sit-at-home that was to last a week. The impression are that people imprison themselves to avoid the gunmen who have taken over the streets. Intensifying of madness varies from state to state. City to city, our space have been concealed to mere criminals with whatever names and causes they choose to glorify their assault on Nigeria. Our governors should be comprehensively ashamed of themselves. Why are they in office? To have convoys, to disperse serious resources as they please, to ensure that their people are disseminated, while they firm up alliances that create more turbulence in the southeast? Are they so afraid to lose their empty empires that they cannot ask questions, the right questions? What fill their days? The meetings, photos, opportunities, the competition to amass more resources. Our governors, just 5 people, cannot hold a meeting to restore dignity to their cherished office. They only visible in agitated competitions to damage the Southeast more through their utterances or loud silences. One of my teachers described what is going thus. In effect, we have 2 parallel governments in each of the 5 states, and neither is of any benefit to the government governed. Perhaps we should say 3 governments, the federal manipulating, the other who benefiting from the care the governors should be ashamed of themselves. The other 2 governments are the gunmen who others sit at home and enforce them, and state government that do nothing except budget billions of naira as security votes to extend their comfort. What happens to the people does not matter. Some insight from the Owerri prison break of 2021, according to Dennis Amechiri, a former assistant director of DSS. There was enough intelligence, enough actionable intelligence, actionable in the sense that it allows for space for people to execute it 1 week ahead of the event. And of course, 72 hours before the event, and then 48 hours before the event. So 3 things. The Nigerian police force was informed by the DSS that this is going to happen. Apparently, nothing was done to stop the attack. You can see that the governor was referring to that particular report, that it is not IPOB, Indigenous People of Biafra. If Governor Hobo Zodima blamed outsiders for the attack, did he know who they were? What was done about them? The prison is near the highest concentration of security in Imo State. A look at the place close to Owerri prison, the government house headquarters of the police and the Department of State Service, the DSS, as armed brigade on Obinenza is not too far away. The invaders released more than 1,800 prisoners. Was anyone sacked from the bench? From the breach? There have been more attacks in Imo and other Southeast states since then. Our homeland is turning into a wasteland, desert, or deserted, destroyed, denied, disseminated. Traditional weddings, festivals, and funerals used to be our local tourism and funneled resources into the local economy. They are all gone. Insecurity constantly enroots our culture. Fear has become our living. Anything done or not done about insecurity in the Southeast affects Nigeria, strains the country. There is a poor understanding of the insecurity in the Southeast when it's treated as insecurity of the Southeast. It is a Nigerian situation situated in the Southeast. Is Nnamdi Kanu the issue? Not any longer. The federal government and those rulers on the streets manipulate his name into crisis. The court of appeal freed him. Why would the government still hold him? What stops the federal government from making a formal complaint to the Finnish government about Simon Ekpa, who makes the sit-at-home brokers? Has the federal government told the Finland about the dedicated menace Simon Ekpa is? Government complicity is too obvious that few seem to expect any solution from government. Is there any part of Nigeria that has more checkpoints than the Southeast, aside extorting the people and taking advantage of the young ladies in their locations? What else do they do? The promise by the new Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, to deploy more troops to the Southeast simply means more militarization of our space. There are enough reasons to know that better use of troops is in place are required. We lost the Civil War. We did not lose our senses. The challenge is for us to find solutions that we can take to willing partners to secure our space. Only our actions will prove that we have had productive meetings. The Southeast must act fast. The context, global, local. For space, keep intensifying. The same context encompasses the environment, the economics, the power, the politics, and some importantly, the politics of power. Power is never enough. Its dynamics ensures that those who know they are masters of power, of politics, still feel inadequate. Meeting where more time is spent praising the nuisance of breaking the kola nut than dealing with the killing of our people. Our homeland are no solutions. We must add more purposefully. Details of what can be done and how to do them are not matters for public consumption. As Okon Idem would say during the Civil War, when surrounded by enemies, we must be essentially vigilant. We cannot afford to sleep. Okay. This is the writer's opinion. So guys, let's hear from you. Kindly drop your comment.